Hello and welcome to Oud Talks Pens. Today I will be talking about this new release from Diplomat. They released the Viper first, and then now they have this new model called the Cobra. I will be doing a size comparison of the Cobra and the Viper in this review. The Cobra is a gorgeous fountain pen. I ordered mine in black. It also comes in red, and I hope they will release more colors. I would love to see a green one, purple one. The reason I didn't buy the red one was that the different pictures I saw of it made it really difficult to say what the color actually looked like. In some illustrations it looked brownish red, in some it looked a beautiful wine red or a rich sort of blood red, but I was worried that it wouldn't be a shade of red that I liked, so I will be waiting and seeing if there will be any reviews of it and then trying to figure out what the color actually looked like. And also because I like to match my pens to my ink, buying a black pen gives me lots of possibilities to use any ink color really, and I like that. I like this sort of cut at both ends. I think it looks modern, and also that the cap band matches those cuts. It has a guilloche pattern on the body meant to resemble the pattern of a cobra snake, and it has a clip with the ink drop that Diplomat uses. There is a Diplomat logo on top, and the bottom one is just plain. It has a magnetic cap, which makes it really easy to cap and uncap. Really great for fast writing, which I do a lot of. And I think having a magnetic cap, a slip cap, a snap cap is great for daily writers. Like this one will probably be for me. I've only had this pen for 4 or 5 days, so I can't make a long-term review of it, but so far I really like it. It has a comfortable grip section. Some might find this material a little bit slippery. I find it a tiny bit slippery, but it's not a problem. And it is a cartridge converter filler. It came with a converter. I really like the attention to detail in that when you unscrew the pen and then screw the grip section back on, the logo will be on the same side as the top of the nib, and I think that just looks great. It would be slightly annoying to me if it was sort of off to the side or not symmetrical. I do wish kind of that this detail was also black, but I do think that the silver details look good with the black pen. I'm really happy that they are silver colored and not yellow gold colored, because that is my preference. And I ordered this pen with a medium nib. You can see that it is inked up with a sheening ink because of the sheen on the feed. When I saw news of this pen being released, I started looking at the Diplomat website, and I ordered the pen directly from Diplomat in Germany, which I think is really practical. I've ordered a few pens directly from them, and they arrive in about, less than a week to northern Norway, which is really good. And then I didn't have to wait for it to reach the stores. So I'm guessing that the question on a lot of people's minds is, how does it stack up to the Viper? And here is the Viper in green and the Cobra in black. They are magnetic, so they are attracted to each other. As you can see, the Viper is slightly smaller and thinner than the Cobra. There is quite a strong attraction because of the magnetic capping mechanisms in both pens, but that's okay. And the grip section is thinner on the Viper than it is on the Cobra, Also, the Viper has a hooded nib, and of course the Cobra has a regular size 6 Diplomat nib. I really like Diplomat nibs. They tend to write wet, and that is the case also on this Cobra, and very smooth. They are one of the manufacturers I really trust when it comes to buying steel nibs, that they will work right out of the box, and I've had positive experiences. I like sort of the bias cut. I don't think I'm using the exact correct word, but I think you understand what I mean on the Cobra. But I also think that the Viper model looks really good. It looks a lot like the Parker 51. So the Cobra is bigger and heavier than the Viper, but both are cartridge converter pens. They are made from the same material, and they have different gouache patterns. The Diplomat Cobra is 13 centimeters from the tip of the nib to the end of the pen. The girth of it, measured at the thickest point, is 14.2 millimeters, and the grip measures in the middle 11.1 millimeters. It weighs 41.5 grams with the cap, and 28.5 grams without the cap, which I think is a very comfortable weight. I think this is a size that a lot of people will really like. I really like both of these designs. I like the minimalist clip on the Viper. I like that it is thinner, so that people who like thinner pens have a great option. But my favorite is without doubt the Cobra. I think it just looks sharper. I like larger pens. This is a very comfortable size for me, and I think I will get more use out of this. Because I've only had it for 4 days, I don't know how I will feel about it long term. But what I have seen already is that my Viper has a tendency to dry out really, really quickly, and I have not had that issue with the Cobra, at least yet. But of course, I have used it a lot in these past 4 days. So again, to compare it to the Viper is 12.8 centimeters long from nib to end. The girth of that is 12 millimeters. The grip is 10.2 millimeters. The weight is 27.4 grams altogether, and it's 19 grams without the cap. The Viper was measured without a converter, but the Cobra had a converter in it, but the converter doesn't weigh that much. So I think this is a realistic comparison, even though it's not completely fair. And here it is with a Lamy All-Star as well. The Diplomats would not stay together because they are magnetic, so they kept clinking together without the All-Star in the middle. So this is as good as it gets. But I did, of course, show them together earlier. And now for a writing sample. As you might be able to hear, the nib is really smooth and it writes wet. This is sheening ink from Diamine. It's Diamine Chaos from the 2025 Inkvent calendar. I do expect that this pen will have some dry out issues as well, because it does have a magnetic cap. They just aren't as good at keeping the nib wet. But I think, as often is the case, it's a question of compromise. You cannot have a pen which opens so quickly with a snap cap, for example, or a magnetic cap, and also have it keep the nib wet for long periods of time, or at least that would be more difficult, but I'm hoping that we will see more pens which are really good at keeping the nib wet as well. But I think that the advantages of being able to cap and uncap it really quickly outweigh the downside of it possibly drying out. €1,600 Norwegian, or close to 150 euros. But you should still look up the prices from the web store you tend to use, or compare prices before you buy. I think this pen is good value for money. Diplomat has excellent build quality. They always feel solid with an attention to detail. My Diplomat pens that I already have are really reliable and have been excellent workhorses, particularly the Diplomat Excellence A2. I think this will be a pen that I get a lot of use out of, which is really important. So here you can see the writing sample. Perhaps you can see some of the sheen. This is a sort of reddish ink with green sheen. Would I rebuy this pen if it were lost, or if I had the option of sort of turning back time and changing my mind? Yes, I would buy this pen again. I'm really happy with it so far. I look forward to seeing how it writes with different inks and finding a favorite ink for it. I'm impressed with it so far. I hope that you found something entertaining or interesting in this review, and I hope to see you in my next review. I really appreciate the people who like my videos, who subscribe to my channel, because it helps my channel to grow, and also to the people who comment and ask questions. It's really encouraging to see that people are actually watching these little reviews. Thank you for watching. Bye.